Hi folks, welcome back to our presentation on health and safety. This is our second video and we're looking at accident prevention and how to reduce unsafe conditions. First of all, it would be a great idea if you could design the job to reduce physical hazards, right? So even doing things like workplace inspections. Many organizations have members of their employee group who are trained in health and safety and know what to look for, use a checklist system to go around to each department and into each office, into the factory area, warehousing, wherever you operate, and they have a checklist of things that they need to look for that are hazardous. And if they find them, what they do is they mark that on their list and then they speak to the department manager about it and how that can be corrected through this workplace inspection. So those are really valuable things to do to reduce unsafe conditions. And again, always make sure that you maintain equipment in its proper working order and that it's safe to use. To reduce unsafe acts, again, if there's any horseplay going on, people are throwing things, like I said before, racing forklifts, whatever they're doing, right? Just make sure employees are trained to be knowledgeable of what the health and safety procedures are in your organization, and make sure that they do take training and that they're evaluated at the end of the training. I know here at Mohawk College we do a lot of health and safety training, and we have all the testing online through eLearn. So even setting up some multiple choice questions for them to do, even online seminars, that kind of thing, so people know what constitutes an unsafe act. Motivate employees to use the knowledge that they have to follow procedures. A lot of companies have safety recognition and reward programs, which is seen very positively by employees, because if they can have an accident, a workplace that's accident-free for so many days, sometimes people get rewarded for that, right? So again, make it into a little bit of a competition or a game, okay? And then you can reward employees for keeping their workplace accident-free. Top management also needs to demonstrate commitment to safety and link it to performance appraisal. I know one of my former students was a manager at a Tim Hortons franchise, and she said one of the ways they were assessed was based on how safe they kept the workplace, and based on the workplace safety inspections that were done with that checklist system I told you about, they were assessed based on that and whether or not they had people off work due to health and safety reasons. So again, that's something that companies do. They link it to performance appraisal. And also when you're selecting people for work, try not to hire people that are accident prone, right? Because clearly they're going to damage the work environment, and they're going to make people will get hurt in the work environment, including themselves. So if you can screen out accident prone people, that's great. The other thing we want to talk about is monitor employees for signs of stress and work overload. A lot of times people come into the work environment fatigued. That could be a sign that they're experiencing some stress. And when people are stressed, that takes a lot of energy, stress. They get tired, and when they get tired, they can't focus, and when they can't focus on their jobs, accidents happen, right? Educate younger workers. We showed you videos in your course about what some of the workplace safety and insurance boards are doing in different parts of Canada to educate young workers on how to keep the workplace safe and the importance of workplace safety and how easy it would be sometimes if you just use some common sense to avoid an accident that can damage you for life. Make sure your health and safety committee is visible and active so that that committee is actually performing safety inspections in the workplace, and make sure that you report or you post and record safety performance records. So again, when workplace inspections are done, usually they're posted in an area of the workplace that was inspected so people can see how they did. And make sure that you enforce your safety rules in your organization, and make sure there's some punishment or some negative consequence for violations. Maybe it can be some kind of a penalty like reducing a privilege. Maybe they're not going to get an overtime opportunity. It doesn't necessarily have to affect their base pay, but some kind of a privilege, or even if it's just a reprimand or a disciplinary warning, something that's going to be perceived as some kind of a punishment or negative for not abiding by health and safety rules. Okay, so when we come back on our next video, we're going to look at controlling compensation and accident costs.